is a funnel and how can it help me scale my Outschool business? This is one of my favorite things to teach about with Outschool. Today we are going to be talking about how to go full-time on Outschool with a funneling system. These are some of my best marketing and enrollment tips for Outschool teachers. Make sure to stay until the end because we will talk about how you can actually map out your funnel for your Outschool business. My name is Katie Geddes and I am a full-time online music studio owner and teacher coach. Make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. All right, so you've probably heard of the word funneling, funnel systems, funneling students, but what even is a funnel? Let's talk about that first. So simply put, a funnel on Outschool is just your student's journey through your classes, right? It's setting an intentional path for them with classes laid out so that from the first time that a student walks into your Zoom classroom, takes your class and loves you, you will not lose them as a student. You can instead retain them and have a clear path for them to join your future classes as well. This is basically just creating what we would call a suite of classes on Outschool that will serve your students long term. So it's focusing more so on re-enrollment rate and building real programs around your classes. Let me just say, having a funnel in my Outschool business is the absolute #1 reason that I have recurring income that I can actually depend on with Outschool, rather than just having a one-time class here and a one-time class there and who knows how many students I'm going to get to enroll in this section next week. I have a very clear understanding, numbers-wise, of how many students will potentially re-enroll for the next semester. Recurring income is the reason that you can depend on Outschool and have this actually serve as a real income source for you and your family that you can rely on. Are you interested in learning more about how to create recurring income in your Outschool business? I actually talk about this in my YouTube video about how I was able to hit 100K on Outschool and the strategies that I use to do so. So make sure to check out that video after this one. Okay, so now that we've talked about what a funnel even is, let's talk about how we can build one in your Outschool business so that you can go full-time on Outschool with a funneling system. So the first step of your funnel should be a way to bring in new students. You can do this in a bunch of different ways. I typically recommend a one-time class. So having a one-time class is a great opportunity to bring in new students because they're usually low commitment. It's just a one-time thing. Usually they can be a low ticket cost, so they're very affordable. The key factor here is make sure that that one-time class is something that's in demand. It's something that parents and students really want. Of course, there's more marketing techniques that go into gaining enrollments for this class. Once you have this one-time class that is going to be high in demand, it's low cost, no-brainer for students to enroll in, you schedule it, you gain enrollments. Once those students come into your class, make it your absolute #1 priority that they feel seen and heard and excited and they have fun in your classes. You have to make sure engagement is your #1 priority because students are going to remember how you made them feel, right? Whether you teach something or not, the reality is if they're going to continue in your classes, it's really going to depend on how they felt with your experience with you. So you need to focus very highly on making that student happy, making sure that they enjoy their time in your class. Once you blow them away with your class, making it interactive and fun and exciting, then after the class is over, you can post a message inviting them to the next class in your funnel. So the next class in your funnel should absolutely be related to that first class. If it's on something that's a different topic, then it wouldn't be a very seamless transition for that student who was enrolled in the first class to enroll in the second one. They should be very, very much related. So it's a no-brainer for that student to continue on into that next class. And that next class, it could be a one-time class, but I more so recommend that it is a multi-day or an ongoing class because it's a higher commitment. Sure, ongoing classes, technically the students can unenroll any week, but usually they stick with it for more than 1 week. This way, once the student has gained your trust, they know you, they like you, they trust you from that first experience that they had in that one-time class with you, then they're more likely to be excited about the idea of continuing on with you and joining in one of your higher commitment classes. If you want to learn more about how to actually integrate a funneling system into your own Outschool teaching business, then I actually have an entire workshop all about this that is free, linked in the description box below. It's called Your First 10K Month, How to Find Your Purposeful and Profitable Niche. But we talk about more than just niche. There's a whole section where we go through funneling and how to add one into your own Outschool business too. All right, right, so now that you know what a funneling system is and how to start to implement one into your own Outschool teaching business, let me give you an example of my own funnel within my Outschool business to help you go full-time on Outschool with a funneling system. An example of my most popular funnel in my own Outschool teaching business is I start with a one-time class, which is Intro to Guitar. And in that class, they just learn the very, very basics, like what you would teach someone day one of getting started with guitar. Then once students have taken that class, I usually reach out and invite them to join my multi-day class, which is Beginning Guitar. It's a semester-long class. It's 12 weeks long. So of course you do not have to create something that intensive. It's just something I've developed over time. I used to invite them into just a 4-week multi-day class. That was Beginning Guitar, where they learned their first 3 chords, and it was pretty simple. After Beginning Guitar, I then have Intermediate Guitar, Upper Intermediate Guitar, and then maybe 3 or 4 levels even on top of that with my most committed students who have just been with me for a long time. Those are all multi-day, aka semester-long classes, because they're 8 weeks or more in length. I also have an ongoing class that I can funnel students into called Guitar Club, which anybody can join once they've taken the beginning guitar class, because then they're at a level where basically they can play simple songs, because in Guitar Club, we just learn a new song each week. I do also, of course, have private lessons, which I can also funnel students into as well. Let's say they took beginning guitar, they struggled a little bit in the group situation, but they did still love the class, so then they decide to join private lessons instead. So if you're having a hard time coming up with, what to offer next in your funnel, just put yourself in your students' shoes. If you start here from, point A and they're learning the very, very basics of something, where do they want to go next? What do they want to learn next? For example, I always say that we're going to learn chords and their first couple of songs that they're going to recognize and feel excited about learning. If you're still having a hard time coming up with ideas, of course you can do market research. You can see what are other teachers doing, how are they approaching it. Take a look at Teachers Pay Teachers. What do other teachers do in their course materials or curriculum? Check out YouTube. There is so much research that you can do in regards to curriculum. If you feel like you need help in creating your own funnel, then definitely make sure to head to katiegettis.com, where you can check out all of the coaching packages I have there, because this is one of my favorite things to help Outschool teachers through. And finally, I just wanted to address some common struggles or some questions that I get from people about how to go full-time with a funneling system on Outschool. So the first one is that teachers do the research and they're excited. They've heard about funnels and they want to implement this into their Outschool business immediately. But just know that this is something that's going to take a little bit of time to develop. In the very beginning stages of teaching on Outschool, I just recommend creating as many classes as you can, getting your ideas out there and seeing what ideas stick with students and with parents. You want to see what is actually in demand and what students actually want to learn from you, and see where you get the most enrollments. Then you can build a funnel or build programs off of those classes. I also have worked with teachers before who say, I'm trying to get more students into my multi-day class, or I'm trying to get more students into my ongoing private lessons, for example, or my tutoring. How can I get more students to do that? And my suggestion is to go back even further, go back to one-time classes and consider making more one-time classes that are related to that topic that you are teaching in your multi-day or your ongoing classes. Because if the student is looking for a one-time class instead of a multi-day or an ongoing, they might be excited to enroll in that. They are excited about you as a teacher, and then they're going to join in for that more high-level commitment class. Another question that I get a lot is, does my funnel have to be sequential? Does it have to kind of build and build on one topic? And technically, not really. You don't have to do it that way. Mine is that way just because I do teach a skill that we're building progressively, but it gets to a point even in my funnel where we focus on topic instead. They might get to the intermediate level and they know all of their chords, but then from there, there's a bunch of different kind of routes that they could go. So I might have one, semester-long class that's all about finger picking, or I might have one class that's all about strumming, right? It's like picking a specific skill. So it doesn't necessarily have to be sequential always, but just make sure that they're always centered around the same topic, because those same students are always going to be interested in that topic, no matter where they are in the sequence of learning things. And one final misunderstanding that I see with teachers getting started with funneling is they think that they have to plan everything up front. But like I said about getting started, the first step should just be to make a bunch of classes, see what sticks, and then just go with your students and progress with them as they progress. I didn't sit down one day and say, plan out my entire 12-week guitar, entire 12-week intermediate, entire 12-week upper intermediate, and so on. I didn't do that all at once, right? I just have gone with my students, over the years, and as they continue with me, I create curriculum as we go. Did I miss a question or a struggle that you have about building your Outschool funnel? Make sure to comment yours below and I will get back to you in the comments. All right, so at this point you understand what a funnel is, how to add one into your business. We gave an example of a funnel, and we even covered some questions or concerns that you might have about funneling with your Outschool business. If this video was helpful for you, then make sure to give it a like and hit subscribe below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!